Hello, hello. We're seekers after knowledge. We roam the world so wide. We look for truth invisible. We walk or skip or stride. Hop, dance or scurry. We lope, sweep or hurry. Whatever needs to be, however we can see. We bring a little cheer with our knowledge. Gather round, everyone. This is our William Price. He'll say a few words.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome, friends. As my lovely wife, Emma Webb Price, just sang to you, we are the seekers after knowledge. I am Will Price, born of these lands and returned to them, my favorite lands of Rose Valley. The Seekers After Knowledge was a social group. Social groups were all the rage in those days, and it's what young people did to kill time and amuse themselves. And so they would get together and they would read poems to each other, read plays, sing songs, put on performances, go hiking, play cricket, and one of their favorite activities was outings. They called it going on an outing. And everybody went to where we are located right now. There used to be, believe it or not, a cabin here. There are a couple of pictures while it was still existing. It stuck out over the bank there and was held with some pillars in the ground. There's nothing left of it but the remains of the chimney, and on the opposite side you can see the cutout of the fireplace box. And this was one of the areas that the Seekers After Knowledge used to love to come and spend their time. They did trips to upstate Pennsylvania. They did a trip to Maine, and they liked to incorporate. They were big fans of the native population, the Lenape, in these lands, and it may sound like cultural appropriation because it kind of is cultural appropriation, but it hit the 1884 ear differently than it hits the 2023 ear. I choose to interpret it that Will Price and the Seekers were just enormous fans of the Lenape people that they encountered and liked to borrow some of their words and terms for things like, you'll hear the term wigwam, which is actually a dwelling, not a tent. It's an actual structure. But this is the journal that I kept on a certain outing where we went to Eaglesmere for 2 weeks in upstate Pennsylvania. And I kept copious notes of every adventure, every activity. And it was the first time that I laid eyes on young Emma Webb. And
I was a lot younger then.
I was quite smitten, clearly, because I recorded it all and kept a journal. And then coming back from the outing, over the course of the next year, I reduced all of those notes to poetry and illustration. I drew every illustration. I bound it together. And the following Christmas, Christmas of 1885, I gave it to her as a Christmas present. So clearly, I was kind of hot for Emma Webb. And in 1884, boys did things to get girls. It's a pretty long story that outlasts all of us. And so it eventually worked because a mere 3 years after I spent my whole year making this book and giving it to her, 3 years later, she finally agreed to marry me. These stories are all taken directly, word for word, from that journal. Yeah. The Quaker way of laying out the week, first day, they refer to third day, fifth day, first day. First day is Sunday, so everything follows after that. So for example, this is from the journal, fifth day, August 24th, 1884. That's Thursday.
If you ask me why this shouting, why this noise and great rejoicing, in the morning bright and early, with a dew and damp of meadows, with the whirling smoke of wigwams and the rushing back and forward, with their frequent repetitions and their wild reverberations, as of dancing on a barn floor. I will answer, I should tell you, from the well-kept grounds at Stenton, from the campus of the college, from the land of Penn, their founder, from before the time of Cromwell, from far away in the darkness, while the tribes of man still lingered near the cradle of the nations, sons of Ham discovered cricket. Played it there upon the meadows, taught their cousins how to play it there upon the meadows. Then, as westward moved the nations, moved the great tribes to the westward, moved to conquer and to build up all the wild land. To the westward took with them this game of cricket as a priceless treasure, took it, taught it unto their children, kept it safe through war and bloodshed, through the weary march of winter, through the summer drought or famine. Thus the father taught the children, taught them how to swing the willow, passed it thus while states were forming, passed it thus while old states crumbled, went it with the march of nations, till the great day of this story found the game of cricket with us, found us ready for to play it. This is how the men and maidens played the ancient game of cricket, played it right before the wigwam, used the wigwam for a clubhouse.
George McFarlane was captain of the inside at the starting, having won the toss of copper, took the inside at the starting. I will put my Hannah in first. She, the stately Jersey maiden, she, the maiden from the sandhills. Straight she seized the bat of willow, seized it firmly with her left hand, placed her right hand just above it. Then she strode unto the wicket, placed her handsome foot before it, and defended thus her wicket, with her knees and dress projecting, covering all our rustic wicket. Then the ball flew from the bowler, straight and swift and sure his aim was, but the wary Hannah caught it, sent the ball out through the paling. Thus the inside scored their first run. Hooray! But Ed Paxton, he was bowler, he, the lean and lanky bowler, you shall hear of all his mischief, how he bowled their placid Hannah, how he troubled much their Lila, how he smashed the boss bat's wicket. On the first ball took her wicket, she the BB of the inside, but the demon's fun was up now, all this curves and break defeated. For from out the clubhouse ambled Jessie, with a grim smile ambled Jessie. She ambled with the bat of willow, placed the willow on the block hole, with her dress the most defended. Thus she started, thus she ended all those curves and angles, all the breaks and piggy rooters drove the demon bowler crazy, drove him frantic to the clubhouse. Thus the inside beat the offside. Only once they beat the offside, for the offside beat the inside 3 times out of 4 they beat them at the game of cricket. Thus the game of cricket started, thus the game of cricket ended. Then before the cozy wigwam, right inside the fence of pickets, there upon the meadows was that jolly game of cricket.
Yay! Woo!
Our poem, that another from the journal, comes from second day, that'd be Monday, July 21st, 1884. Early I'll wake, then down to the lake with the dawn's first break in the morning. I'll take a row without a bow at the first glow in the dawning. She untied the boat. It took but a minute, but an oar was afloat before she got in it.
She reached for the floater. She slipped in the water. This festive young daughter, she slipped in the water before she had order. Then she pranced all around with one foot on the ground. She said she'd be bound if the boys ever found how she had been drowned.
She'd make it red hot for the girls who came not, but slept by the spot from which she had got so early that morning. But the boys heard the clatter and soon knew the matter, and they asked the young daughter just why she had sat her down thus on the water, for she might have known better, and that it would wet her.
Now we've got our last story, which is the third day.
Right, which would be Tuesday.
7/22/1884. They spent all the next morning till dinner time in teaching and learning the game of cricket. After supper, they took a canoe ride. The evening was beautiful, the lake smooth and the clouds of many shapes and colors. All these, together with the singing and the bright costumes of the girls, made it a time long to be remembered. Soon after dark, a camp was discovered on the lakeside. The war whoops of the tribe were immediately sounded. 1, 2, 3, SAK, hurrah!
This was answered by MBCG, hurrah, from the camp.
Being still doubt, a test cry was proposed by the cricket. 3 cheers for Jim Blaine, the mighty chief! The response to this was so hearty as to remove all doubts. Fires were soon kindled by the water's edge, and many jolly greetings were exchanged. The campers inquired for a lost canoe and 2 sheep who had gone astray. Our punster gave them the information that
We had mutton for dinner today.
which seemed to settle their anxiety in a gale of merriment. And amidst a rousing chorus of Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, the canoeist rowed away, greatly enjoying the lights and inflections cast by the campfire.
I had frequently noticed the strong musical spirit of this tribe. They were always singing when not otherwise engaged. They sang on their walks, and they sang whenever they happened to stop. On this evening, having sung themselves hoarse, full of spirits, not that kind.
No.
Ready for any fun that might turn up. Someone suggested peanuts. Then the hilarious girls with the fossil, the professor, and the cricket rushed wildly toward the supply camp. Helter-skelter, they flew down the trail wildly into the wigwam and demanded peanuts.
All gone,
Said the keeper.
but I have sour balls and chewing gum.
All right, said the braves, and proceeded to buy him out. Chocolate drops, mint drops, coconut strips, and sour balls were laid in, and the march back commenced under favorable circumstances. But what ails the fossil? Said one. See, he makes faces and looks agonized. He stands on one foot and lifts the other up with that motion peculiar to a cow in fly time. Nothing, quote the fossil. Have some coconut strips? They had some and followed the fossil's trail to the roadside and imitated him exactly. All that was left of the coconut strips were fed to Jesse. In justice to Jesse, I would add that these toxic strips were brought here by General Sullivan's army in 1782, and she, having an antiquarian taste, assimilated them with alacrity.
Here, have a chocolate kiss for the journey. The rest of it. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.